Hey guys, it's Danny. Now, I'm sure some of you are wondering, does this girl have any more Oncidiums? And the answer is yes, I do still have some Oncidiums, and most of them are blooming now because it kinda is the season. But not only that, I also have a few new ones that I recently acquired. So, why don't we talk a little bit about Oncidiums today? What happened to my collection, which some of you might remember was plentiful. I even did that repotting 10 Oncidiums in one go, and I saved all of those Oncidiums just to be separated from them because of thrips. Yeah, that's what kind of happened to my Oncidium collection, but we're gonna get into that. So let's just talk Oncidiums today. I'm gonna show you what's blooming. I'm gonna show you the 3 new ones that I have. How about that? Alrighty, so before we start, don't forget to give this video a like if you end up enjoying it. Also, why not subscribe? It is free and I post multiple times a week, but if you're feeling extra about it, consider further supporting my channel by checking out the merch, checking out the affiliate links down below in the description, becoming a member, or using the super thanks option below my videos. Righty, with that said, excuse my voice, it is very early morning as always. It is the only time that I can film quietly. It has reached that level, I'm sorry. So let's hope my voice gets better throughout this video, and let's just start with the old Oncidiums that are blooming now. Alrighty, so let's just start with this one. I'm gonna give you a fair warning. Most of my Oncidiums are slightly dehydrated because they are not in full sphagnum moss just yet. They're still in my old mixture because it wasn't bad. So I thought, well, I'm gonna have time to water them properly. Do you think I had time? No, because I had a wedding, family over, all that madness, and my Oncidiums suffered a little bit. But when it's time to repot, definitely they're going in sphagnum moss. My Cattleyas are doing great in sphagnum moss. Let me show you something. I know this is an Oncidium video, but I'm too excited. My Brassocatante Gyrac Finch is blooming. Look at that. Do you see? We have buds. I'm very excited because it's supposed to be a really nice pinkish color. I love these types of Cattleyas. I need to put my Oncidiums in sphagnum moss too. But now is not the time. Now let's just look at them. This is the Oncidium Heaven Sent Redolence. It is one that I do believe I received from you guys a long time ago. I still have it. I still love it. And yes, it still smells like chocolate. Now, if you know the famous Cherry Baby, the Oncidium that smells like chocolate, this one, in my opinion, is a better version of that. It is... Excuse you. Oh, the noise will start soon. They're early today. Goody. All right, so this is a more compact version of that. The flower spike seems to have more flowers in a smaller space. Does that make sense? The Cherry Baby creates a very big flower spike. Beautiful flowers, beautiful orchid, but it's a little unruly in my opinion. This one smells the same. Beautiful chocolatey smell. It has better flowers in my opinion. They are a little bit bigger, a little bit chunkier, and also they have white to them as well. Not to mention the flower spike is not so long, but the flowers are concentrated. So I really do actually prefer this particular one more. Other than that, it has the same traits as the Cherry Baby. If you don't water it correctly, you're gonna get these crispy edges. That's fine, that's what Oncidiums do. It is a theme throughout my Oncidiums, as you will see. It is just due to lack of proper watering. I need to get better at it. But this has been the Redolence. Maybe we're gonna make a spotlight on him as well. Next up, my pride and joy. Look at this guy. Does he fit in the frame? Maybe. Don't worry, we're gonna take some B-rolls. What do you think this is? If you've guessed Hawiara Lava Burst, yeah, that's who it is. Each year it gets better and better when it comes to blooms. This year we have 4 flower spike total on this plant from 3 growths. They have branches, they have a lot of flowers, not all of the buds are open, but it's already getting a little bit heavy. So I'm considering staking her. Last year I didn't stake her and it looked beautiful, but I think this year, for its own safety, I will stake it because these flower spikes are getting heavy. They're bigger than last year, or was it earlier this year? I don't know, whenever it bloomed last. I said in that video when I made it, I don't think it can get better. Well, it just got better. And I do believe this plant gets better and better as it ages. Again, suffering a little bit from watering. I shall address that. She will love sphagnum moss. Funny thing, for those of you who are not acquainted with my channel back then, a few years ago I almost lost it because I tried to grow it in leca and semi-hydro. Did not work out. This was the single orchid that was so against me trying to grow it in Lega. It's absurd. She refused for 3 years to get adjusted to 3 or 2, I don't remember. Several years she resisted transition, and then I said, oh, what the heck, I'm gonna put it in sphagnum moss, and it came to life. Look at that. And then for whatever reason I switched it to sphagnum moss and bark, and she's growing well, but she's getting dehydrated faster. But yeah, Hawiara, man, what a beautiful orchid. Totally worth it. It's one of those that it's a little bit cheaper as well. If you have enough patience, you will be rewarded. Look at her, beautiful Oncidium. Next up, we don't have flowers here, but this guy has a ton of flower spikes. This is an Oncidium, it's not Twinkle, it's Tiny Twinkle, which is a little bit paradoxical because this is bigger than the typical Oncidium Twinkles. It has bigger pseudobulbs. Flowers are identical. They have a yellowish creamy color as far as I remember. They do smell absolutely the same, but the plant itself is bigger. And it's called Tiny Twinkle. Not Twinkle, but it's bigger than the Twinkles. Yeah, okay. It is full of flower spikes, and I'm really hoping for a nice show. It is potted in roots, as you can see, not medium, it's roots. So yeah, again, probably in the spring I'm gonna repot all of these guys, put them in sphagnum moss and just call it a day, because it's seriously getting out of hands. The more roots they put out, the faster they dehydrate. But this one, when it blooms, it is the most beautiful show ever. Do we see this? Dried leaf tips? Yes, this is what we get here in this climate. It's okay. I'll try to be better at that as well. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 flower spikes on this guy right now. It's gonna be a beautiful, beautiful show. One thing I wanna note, I believe it's a little hardier than the actual Twinkle, the smaller pseudobulb one. Anybody else feel the same? I feel like it's hardier. With the Twinkles, yes, I had the dieback, but I would have a lot more issues with dehydration than on this guy. Is there a difference, or is it just me? I don't know. And this one, of course, is the Popcorn Haruri. We're not gonna have flower spikes this year? I don't know. I don't see any yet. That's okay though, we are already potted in sphagnum moss, so maybe the fact that I repotted it recently in October, yeah. Maybe I stressed it a little bit, but it was getting very dehydrated and it's all medium. So maybe this year we're not gonna have the beautiful bloom show this guy puts on, but that's all right with me. And we're not done. We do have a few more Oncidiums, and then I'm gonna tell you what happened to my whole collection. All right, these guys, these are new-ish. I bought them last year or at the beginning of this year. Now, these ones are indeed potted in moss, but because they are newer orchids, they did spend some time growing roots, getting adjusted. This one didn't really have much roots, or if it did, they didn't make it. So to begin with, we didn't start with a great root system. And it shows. It produced tinier growths, but we are growing roots now, and we're also blooming. Look at that. I hope the blooms will be nice, because this guy was a little sit back. What is this? Odontoglossum hybrid red pink. That's what he is. I don't have an ID for him. When it blooms, maybe you guys can help me ID him. He's a beautiful, beautiful, very typical Odontoglossum shaped. To me, it has that squarish type of shape, and it's red and pink, or red and magenta. It is breathtaking. That's why I decided that I want to have him. And here we have an Alisara. You guys know I love Alisaras. Oh man. Oh man. And we can see on this one some battle wounds. Oh no, it's a thrip. I just caught a thrip. Oh no. Currently I'm keeping these guys in one of my cabinets there. I'm gonna show you. But as you can guess, thrips took my Oncidiums. This one has a flower spike too here. There we go. It has beautiful purple, big flowers. Do I have an ID? I think I ID'd this one. Let me see. Alisara. No, I didn't ID this one. I don't know what it is. We are going to find out. I also potted it in sphagnum moss, and I think she likes it. She's not dehydrated. But yes, if you're wondering whatever happened to my Oncidiums, they got attacked by thrips like most anything else in my collection, but they were much harder to treat because look at this foliage. It's very large. They have a lot of foliage. It's very hard to stay on top of things. And some of them have pretty thin foliage as well. And sometimes if there's a lot of grazing, they don't respond well to treatments because that oil penetrates the leaf and it kind of destroys it. So I had to be very, very careful how to treat them. And because they just had so much damage and they had so many leaves and I had so little time this year, which was hectic. I'm glad it's going away. I just could not keep up with whatever was happening to them. I'm just looking for thrips now. I don't see any others. I can stay on top of these because I don't have many Oncidiums now. But yeah, imagine this times 10. I had a lot of Oncidiums and I had a lot of thrips. So in the end, I kind of lost them because I just did not have time to deal with the thrips situation. Even if I were to use the toxic insecticides, I wouldn't have had time to spray everybody as thoroughly as I needed to because they have so much foliage. So yeah, I think I should not have as many Oncidiums as I had. It's not an okay idea at the moment for me to have a lot of Oncidiums because they are the bushiest orchids in my collection. And I cannot deal with the thrips as easily on them. Anyway, luckily for me, with these guys, I did a pretty decent job, except for the Alisara. I saw one thrip on her, and I took care of it. But where there's one, there are others. So I'm gonna put them back. I'm gonna show you where I currently keep them, and then we're gonna look at the new Oncidiums. So here they are. A little bit crammed, I know. That's why I'm saying I should not have a lot of Oncidiums, but this is fairly okay. I managed to keep them relatively pest-free in here. It was much easier to deal with any outbreak that I might have had. I have the tiny one here. I'm trying out a light colored background. We'll see how it goes. And a little cattleya that I want to protect there. But yeah, this is a space for tiny Oncidiums. Do they create tiny Oncidiums? Not really, not even the twinkles. But yeah, this is a tiny space for something at some point. But here is where I'm keeping my Oncidiums. This is a rootstock cabinet, and I do believe I have a video on it and on the grow lights and stuff. I'll make sure to add it down below if I find it. I'm sure I'll find it. But it's an IKEA cabinet, and it's usually closed, so they are protected to a great extent from pests, and this is how I was able to keep them alive this year. Alright, now let's look at the new ones that don't fit in the frame. I forgot to tell you, the reason why I had so many issues with pests, did I call them pets? I might have. The reason I had issues is that these guys are pest magnets for me. They have pretty thin leaves and pests really prefer them to cattleyas or vandas. I don't think I've ever had an issue with vandas, but with Oncidiums, oh boy, oh brother, you cannot imagine. So not only did I have a hard time getting to all the pests, but they also really did prefer these guys over other orchids. Anyway, that's that. We will rebuild one day when we're gonna have more means, but I did get a few Oncidiums lately that I'm really happy about because I really do love Oncidiums. This is one of them. I don't know what this is. Looks a little bit like a Colmanara type. The former name Colmanara, I don't know nowadays, Oncostelle, I think that's how they're called. It looks like one of those. It has no scent, but it has a beautiful, beautiful flower. And I'm seeing that the newer flowers have a bit of a different lip. Do you see that? I have these guys for 2-3 weeks already. So when I purchased them, actually, the flower spikes did not have any flowers. They only had buds. And I looked at the pseudobulbs and at the plants and at the buds and thought, okay, this one is different, this one is different, I don't know what this one is, I'm gonna get these without even seeing the flowers. And yeah, I did get all of them different. If you have an ID for this one, let me know in the comments below. I don't currently know what it is. I didn't really check much either yet, but it's a typical Oncostelle type of Oncidium. And here we have an Alisara, which I had before, but I lost. I love Alisaras. They are my absolute favorites. What is your name? I knew them by heart, but I didn't use them in a while. I'll put the tag on the screen somewhere. I knew how this one was called. I'm just forgetting at the moment. So this one, many of you probably already know. It is a very, very common Alisara. I particularly love the star-shaped flowers. Alisaras are amongst my favorites. Again, no is it? Oh, I forgot. No, these ones are fragrant. They smell like pepper. Nice. I don't really like how Alisara smell. I like how they look like. Next up, oh boy, oh brother. I really love this one. I was gutted when I lost mine. This is an Odontoglossum type. I think the name was something like Inferno, something like that. Look at that color, look at that beautiful orange. Look how pretty she is. I'm so happy I found this one again. I shall treasure it and try to take care of it forever because it is actually one of my favorites. I'm happy this one stays a little bit more compact as well and doesn't have those big leaves, but you can imagine this one can grow large as well. Those flowers though are absolutely worth it. Here's the thing, there was another one and the flowers almost opened, but they failed to open. You want to know why? Well, because the pseudobulb, only one, is rotting. Yes, it's very mushy, very soft. This is how I bought it. It is what it is. I didn't notice. It was green when I bought it. I noticed it was just one pseudobulb, and whenever you see that, you should stay away from that plant because this is a pseudobulb which was separated from the mother plant and plucked in a pot which is too big for it because there are no roots, and then given to be sold because it had a flower spike. It doesn't matter if the flower spike eventually blooms, right? Because you bought it. Anyway, I thought I could get away with it. I did not. So I'm guessing this was a beautiful spotted, maybe Brassia type orchid. It would have been very, very nice, right? But it didn't manage. It just catapulted a bud. Okay, so it didn't manage to bloom at all because the pseudobulb is rotting. It lost all of its leaves. One by one, they started to yellow. When I purchased it, everything was green, but then slowly after it started to go downhill, and I knew I made a mistake by purchasing it, but I tried. So this one is not meant to be, and I'm sure it was a beautiful, maybe even an Alisara. I don't know what this could have been, but definitely it would have been beautiful. Anyway, that is that. We can't have them all, right? And that is about it on the Oncidiums. What I'm showing you here is not an Oncidium, close, but not an Oncidium. It is a Zygopetalum, because some of you have asked me, how are my Zygopetalums? Well, they're still here. They're kind of being reborn from their own ashes. So if you guys want me to make an update on my Zygopetalums and tell you and show you how they're doing, let me know, because I can do that because they're not dead. If they were, I would have told you. But they're still here, getting better and better. This is one of them. I just need to be better at watering. The ever-ending story, right? But yeah, there we have it. These have been my Oncidiums, the ones that I still have. Not a lot of them, as you can see, sadly. I have a lot more Cattleyas at this point because they give me much less headaches. But yeah, sadly, my big Oncidium collection is gone. And I'm not gonna attempt it for the moment until I can figure out what to do with the darn thrips. All right, so with that said, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Hope you've enjoyed just chilling. Let me know, how are your Oncidiums doing? Do you have issues with pests like me? Am I the only one? What do we do about them? Alrighty, so with that said, hope you all have a great day. With that said, I'll see you all next time. Bye.